A continuación, vamos a recibir a Ekaterina Walter. Ella va a darnos su conferencia en inglés, pero inglés al pasito, para que todos lo podamos entender. Pero Ekaterina ha sido líder de la innovación y marketing estratégico para marcas como Fortune 500, Intel y Accenture. La empresa que ella cofundó, Branderati, fue adquirida por Sprinklr, donde ahora se desempeña como evangelista global. Ekaterina es una ponente internacional y es autora del bestseller en Wall Street Journal, Piense como Zuck, los 5 secretos comerciales del improbable brillante CEO de Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, y coautora del libro El poder de la narración visual, cómo utilizar imágenes, videos y los medios de comunicación social para la comercialización de su marca. Ekaterina Walter ha sido reconocida constantemente por la industria y por sus compañeros por su pensamiento un tanto innovador. Recientemente ella recibió el honor como Vendedora del Año 2003 en los premios Show Me y fue nombrada la número 3 en la lista del Forbes 2014 dentro de los 40 más talentosos del social marketing. En junio del año pasado, la revista Fortune la incluyó en la lista de las personas de negocios más impactantes en las redes sociales, junto con Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Arianna Huffington, Warren Buffett, entre otros. Líder de pensamiento empresarial y marketing, Ekaterina es colaboradora de publicaciones impresas y digitales en revistas como Forbes, Fast Company, entre otras. También sus pensamientos sobre liderazgo y fue presentado en CNBC, ABC, NBC, Fox News, Forbes, CNN, entre otros. Sin más preámbulos, ya sabemos de quién vamos a estar recibiendo buena información. Recibamos a Ekaterina Walter con la exposición Make Your Marketing Memorable with Visual Storytelling.
Hi, thank you. Hola, everybody. Now, don't get excited. That's pretty much the extent of my knowledge of Spanish language. So if you don't mind, I'll speak English. Or I also know Russian, so which one do you prefer? I can do that too. Really excited to be here. So now this is my first time in Dominican Republic, and I have to tell you, amazing weather. Food, bellissimo. Now, people are the best. Now, so good looking, right? Come on, that's right. I mean, look at you guys. Now, as a matter of fact, I tell you what, I'm going to have to take a selfie with all of you. Are you up for it? Sweet. All right, you all ready? All right, you look pretty. All right, I'll tweet that later. Now, selfie is an interesting thing, isn't it? We are becoming such a real-time sharers. Instead of telling a story as it used to be after we go back on vacation, we come back and we tell stories, or we send emails or a text updates about where we are and what we did. Now it's so easy. We just turn around, we just do the selfie, and share it out. One of my friends is going through Europe with his family for a month, and that he doesn't post a thing in text. It's all images, maybe just the name of the city where they are. It's really fascinating. We became a visual storytelling type of society. But here's the thing, right? As marketers and as business owners, one of the hardest questions we ever have to answer on a daily basis is this: heart marketing or head marketing, right? Do I produce a bunch of information about my product and put a white paper together and pump my customers full of facts? Or do I try to appeal to their heart and tell an emotional story that will relate on a totally different level? Here's an example of one company that did it the second amazingly well through visual storytelling in one of their commercials. Let's watch. Oops.
Mẹป่วยเหรอ
อย่าทำอย่างนี้อีกนะ
หมวยเกาเหลาจ๋อนั่งเลยครับนั่งเลย
ป๊า
จัดไปอ้าวสั่งมาเร็วต่ออะไร
Now, this is a Thai telecommunication company that decided that instead of pushing their product or packaged services in their commercial, they're going to talk about what matters to them, right? And relate to others on the emotional level, which is giving. Giving back is the best communication. Now, this 3-minute video puts any Hollywood or Bollywood movie to shame, right? I mean, amazingly done. But video is not the only one that really, truly emotionally connects with that. We can do it with images. This is one of my favorite images that communicates the pollution of the ocean. Well, how about this one? This was shot on a Memorial Day. I do not have to translate this for you or tell you what story that image really, truly tells. So what is it that makes us such draws us to visuals? Here's the reality, that thinking in pictures is in our nature. It's a human nature. Language existed for about 5,000 to 7,000 years. We were drawing our whole lives, right? Remember drawing in caves? Human brain processes visuals, get this, 60,000 times faster than text. 60,000 times faster. It's absolutely amazing. So our verbal mind doesn't work without our visual mind, right? We all know picture is worth 1,000 words. Images speak to the heart. They transcend cultures and boundaries. I don't have to translate those for you. They also speak louder than words. And look, as a marketer, I always say, if in doubt, put cats in. Cats and puppies. They always a big hit. But here's the reality. Here's why we as marketers should care. These stats keep increasing every day. There are hundreds and millions of visuals shared across multiple different networks every day. As a matter of fact, it is so ingrained into our lives now that this saying, "Fix it or it didn't happen," is actually now in the dictionary. It's really fascinating. But as marketers, you want to know what that really means to you. So here's a couple of additional stats. Average modern adult attention span, scientists say, is now between 3 and 8 seconds. And every year it's decreasing. Which is, by the way, sad, because if I tell you that this is less than the attention span of a goldfish, you're going to be sad, right? Goldfish attention span is 9 seconds. So congratulations, us humans are now very all over the place multitasking individuals, right? So, and if you look at statistics, did you know, according to Google, did you know that the amount of information humans now create and share online every 48 hours is the same amount of information that was created, wait for it, from the beginning of time till the year 2003. Beginning of time till the year 2003. We're now cranking up every 48 hours, and it's soon going to be 24. So the question becomes, how do you stand out from that noise, right? From that overload of information, because that's what us marketers do. We take the noise and we want to stand out. Here's some data. If you use visuals, right, you're going to drive 94% more views to, and traffic to your content. Now, viewers spend 100% more time with video, right, on web pages. That's no surprise. If there are PR professionals in the audience, here's a stat. 14% increase in views of your press releases if you have an image. That goes up to 48, almost 50%, if you have both images and videos attached to it. And here's the gold. Viewers are 85% more likely to purchase a product that has a product video and, to be honest with you, a really good quality image accompanying it. So here's what we need to understand. Is in the age of infobicity, if you really want to touch somebody's heart, appeal to them, or even grab their attention for 1 second to drive traffic to where they can find more information, you know, blog posts, product information, etc., you need to use visual storytelling. So let's talk about what do we do. I'll tell you different formats, different brands are using, a couple of examples, and some hopefully tactics that you can take back home and maybe put in your strategy plans. Let's think creatively, right? If we think visual storytelling, we think videos and images. Cartoons are becoming more and more popular. Now, they were popular in all the newsletters and newspapers all the time, so we know that, right? But we haven't used them quite effectively in marketing. So here's an example of a cartoon. Actually, it was a series of 10 cartoons that a brand called Get Satisfaction. It's a software company that worked with community managers to sort of help them solve their problems. So they took a series of challenges that every community manager is facing, and they created cartoons around it. But I talked to a guy, Tom Fishburne, who actually created those cartoons, and I said, Tom, this is great, this is fun, people love cartoons, but tell me what the ROI is of using cartoons. And he said, well, here's one example. One of my clients uses cartoons in their weekly and another one in monthly newsletters that they sent out to their customers. Their open rate went from 5 to 8% industry average to about 45% and plus. So how do we use new formats or unexpected formats to connect with our customers and drive their action and hopefully which leads to purchase? Customize for every platform. So if I go and I buy a lock, this video is brilliant for any small business, right? You put it animation, GIFs or GIFs, depending on how you say it, right? Online, and you know exactly what you're getting. Now, we need to customize our content based on the community and the platform we engage with. Tumblr is an amazing community, very, very active. They are used to seeing animated GIFs forever, ever since the beginning. So if you take the same image of the same size because you don't have resources or you just didn't think of it and you stick it on every social platform, it's not going to drive the community engagement and the traffic that you want to drive. And after all, you can also do what Fox Business did and chop up one of their news clips and post it online and make people laugh. Gets me every time I see it, right? I mean, in real time, what's the opportunity to share the content that people might appreciate? Pinterest, right? Pinterest is an insane driver of retail, just insane. There's so many purchases that are being driven from Pinterest. But here's one example. Sephora looked at their very large, very engaged community on Facebook, right? And their smaller, less engaged community on Pinterest and looked at how much traffic each community and how much purchases each community drives. And what they found is that their Pinterest followers spend 15 times more money on their products than their Facebook followers. So using different formats and figuring out which visual networks are more beneficial to you in a business sense is critical. Infographics. Who doesn't love infographics? Well-done infographic can drive up to 12% and more traffic to your website. This is an example that we've created at Intel a while back. People loved it. What happens in an internet minute? All we did is consolidate some statistics that's already out there and created a nice visual. Great way to drive traffic. And here's the question I get all the time. But I am boring. My product is boring. Or better yet, I am B2B. I don't sell directly to customers. I sell through somebody, through a third party. How am I going to market my brand and make it sexy? So here's an example of one of my favorite software companies, HubSpot. They basically sell software that helps marketers do a variety of things. But they knew straight from the start that marketers are their key audience. They became a hub, a go-to, absolutely all-in-one go-to place for marketing content. I might not buy their product, but I know if I have a question on how to use Pinterest, how to do different PR strategies and tactics, if I'm a nonprofit, right? I know I'll find it on their site. So they actually, this is a screenshot of some of their Pinterest boards. Marketing ebooks, templates, tools, webinars that will help you become a better marketer. On Facebook, they're amazing. Instead of saying, hey guys, Facebook just absolutely revamped their newsfeed algorithm, here's 3 things you need to know with bullets, they create visuals and say, Here's 3, 4, 5 things you need to know. Boom, this stuff gets shared like crazy. Or introduction to, blogging for nonprofits. They have it all. So if you think your product isn't sexy enough, think about how do you add value every single day to your core audience so that every single day you're on top of mind and they keep coming back. SlideShare. How many people use SlideShare? When you work with brands, I see one hand up. There's a couple of hands there. Wow, this is great actually compared to normal. SlideShare is so underutilized. C-suite, the executives love SlideShare. I'll tell you why. In corporate environment, it's deaf by PowerPoint or Keynote. Depends on what computer you're on. If it's not on PowerPoint, it's not getting budgeted or supported, etc. So when executives look for information, they want it in the format that they are used to. So they go to SlideShare and they search for whatever topics that they're looking for. So becoming a content hub of knowledge on SlideShare actually becomes very critical. But not only that, I'm not just saying give away information for free, which is always great, but they have a lead generation form built in that can drive leads back to your business. So in the middle of a presentation or at the end of the presentation, it says, do you want to talk to us more about this topic? Fill out the form. So when Brandorati, a startup I founded after I left, co-founded after I left Intel, which now sold to Sprinklr, social media management company, we noticed that there was a lack of statistics around advocacy marketing, influencer marketing. And we put it together. We found sources. We created quick design, very simple. People loved it. We got a bunch of traffic straight from the start, but we also got a lot of leads from that. And those leads are free. Hello. I want free leads. Videos. So let's talk about videos. There's a lot of cool things we can do with videos. But I want to show you one that I think is extremely creative. Again, taking a seemingly boring feature or capability of a product and turning it into something cool. Take a look.
I've had my ups and downs. My fair share of bumpy roads and heavy winds. That's what made me what I am today. Now I stand here before you. What you see is a body crafted to perfection. A pair of legs engineered to defy the laws of physics. And a mindset to master the most epic of splits.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time. We gotta
Don't try it at home, people. Do not try it at home. So it might be an actor, and yes, it's very well executed, but steering, I mean, come on. Nobody thinks about that, right? When we buy a car, especially a truck, we probably don't think about it much. But how cool and sexy that makes it. Have you guys seen Will It Bland website? Everybody's seen. How cool is that? You just take a chunks of stuff, including an iPhone, and you throw it in and you entertain people. Their profit went way back. I mean, way up. I mean, they're showing that the blender, if the blender can blend an iPhone or a piece of wood, it can blend anything. So how do you use video to take what seems to be a little thing or somewhat boring thing and make it really cool and sexy? But here's another underutilized, tops down, underutilized use of video for marketing, and that is video response. When was the last time, you know, you as a client, or if you're an agency, you manage accounts for a client, instead of answering in text on Twitter, let's say, you put the camera up in front of your face and you said, "Hey, Joe," or "Jose," yeah, plug in the name. "I thank you for getting in touch. Let me answer your question. If that doesn't answer your question, get back to me." How cool is that? How many of you in the audience actually gotten a response from a brand on video? Hands. The reason why my hand is up is because I did once, and I will show it to you at the end of the presentation. Now, check out what Tiger Woods' team did when they sold Tiger Woods' game online, and there was a glitch where Tiger walked on water. Take a look.
We got the new Tiger Woods 08, best game ever. Got the new feature, you could stand on the water. Let's see.
Not a glitch, he's just that good. He shot it in 2008, 2009, I think it was 8, after he won one of yet another championships, and his leg was hurting, and he still did it. I mean, amazing. That was before half the women in the world hated him. But I mean, how cool is that, right? Now, we talked a little bit about infographics, and now we're getting a lot into the topic of real-time response, right? Real-time marketing. Here's the thing. Relevancy has a deadline. It just does. You know, we have the newsfeed scroll so fast. You know, the life of a tweet, if it's an hour, we're lucky, right? So how do you catch opportunities as they come your way? Now, do you guys have anybody in the audience own a smart car? Smart car? You all know what that is though, right? A tiny little coffin on wheels, pretty much. It's a great car. I have a lot of friends who have them, great car. Now, smart car one day looked at Twitter and they saw this tweet. Saw a bird, had crapped on smart car, totaled it. Right? So a bird pooped on smart car, and it's making fun of the fact that smart car is so tiny, right? And probably unreliable. Now, the team could have said, you know what? Clayton is a smartass. Clayton actually is a smartass. He works at the agency, in US. He doesn't have a huge following, but every now and then he like jabs, right, at different brands. This was one of his jabs. Now, Smart Car team could say, no big deal, not a lot of people saw it, let's just move on. Smart Car said, we're gonna get on top of that. And they came up with this response. Couldn't have been one bird, sounds more like 4.5 million, but no, seriously, we did a map, and they attached the infographic that showed that it takes 4.5 million pigeon crabs, 300,000 turkey crabs and emu crabs, how many it actually takes to total the Smart Car. Now, that's pretty cool. That's ballsy. He writes back and says, outsmarted by Smart Car, best social response ever. He wrote a blog post. Now, the amount of publicity, Tiger Woods video, this response actually gotten over the years is insane. Free publicity. As a matter of fact, this is also several years old, example that's several years old. It is still being covered. Heck, it's in my book. So do not miss an opportunity to do something really cool. And find ways to add humor. I mean, obviously, we talked a little bit about humor in previous examples, but this is another one of my all-time favorite videos from Cisco, a company that is not B2C, right? And a company that sells massive, machines for a lot of money. Now, what does Cisco have to do with the Valentine's Day? Zero. People go to a jewelry store if they want to stay married, right? But get this, the team came up with this video on one of the Valentine's Day a couple of years back that totally blew up in press.
How many ways can a man tell his sweetheart, I love you? Until now, the answer was 3. He could buy her expensive diamonds. He could take her on a tropical vacation. Or he could carve his initials into a tree, then carve a heart, and then carve her initials. But now, he can give her the ultimate expression of his everlasting affection. The Cisco ASR 9000. Because nothing says forever like up to 6.4 terabits per second. Nothing says commitment like up to 400 Gbps per slot. And nothing says I love you like 6 times the mobile backhaul capacity. How many ways can a man say I love you? The answer is 4. The Cisco ASR 9000.
Yeah, no. First of all, it costs like $80,000 to $100,000, right? And second of all, if my husband showed up at home with that puppy, he would be gone. Hell, the vacuum cleaner, he would be gone. Forget that. So the team knew that they're not gonna sell the product. However, they didn't care. They just wanted to have fun with folks on Valentine's Day, and it got them a ton of PR. Or you can be a National Geographic. No, I mean, this is funny, I agree, but you're laughing. People adore behind the scenes. You could look horrible next to your desk doing some really weird, nerdy stuff, and people will eat it up. Why? Because the brands held on to this control for so long, for this perfect, they hold on to this perfect image of everything gotta be glossy and just so, and it costs so much to produce content. That's not good. Right, Cacho. Hey, Cacho. So Cacho's gonna, make sure you stay for his session. He works with musicians. We talked about the fact how, the music videos that he's producing are amazing, but he also takes a lot of behind-the-scenes shots that fans just absolutely love. Make sure you open your kimono, people, and show behind the scenes. And here's an example I wanted to show you when I talked about the personalized video. See, producing good content or great content, right, isn't enough, right? We live in a time where people demand speed, they demand personalization, they demand that you know them. Not just push generic message, but you actually know them. So the question is, how do we make marketing personal? A couple of Christmases ago, I was desperate. I was one of those mothers and wives. I'm like, oh my God, Christmas, I gotta buy a gift. Damn. So REI is this outdoor chain in the West, yes. And I love them. They sell, you know, camping gear, they sell exercise equipment, they sell a lot of cool stuff. They're a really good brand. And so I tweeted at them and I said, hey guys, I need help. Half an hour later, they come back with this video. The green vest, a person who works at the store and knows inventory in and out, did a quick research about me online, and she came on, well, one of them came on and said, hey, Katrina, you know what? We looked you up. We think GoPro camera is going to be a really great solution for you, which, by the way, my daughter was a couple years old, so yes, GoPro was a perfect gift. And we suggest that's what you get. Now, it's all cool, right? It makes me feel important. Look at that. I got personal response. It's fantastic. But as a marketer, I wanted to know what the impact was. And so I connected with REI social media team. There's 3 of them, a team of 3. And I said, guys, first of all, I love it. This is great. I covered it in my Fast Company article. I put it in the book. I talk about it all the time. It's great. However, what did you see as far as the return? So they said they've received about 90 to 100 questions, and in 2 weeks they shot about 90 videos, and in those 2 weeks before Christmas, right, the traffic to their site doubled. Who wants that? Yes, right? I mean, how cool is that? I said, okay, all right, but how much did it cost you? They said, you know, not much. We just took about 3 stores, we set up a green screen, put a video camera, and used our green vests, right, to basically provide direction to people like they would in the store, but on camera. I mean, how cool is that? Can we all do something like that? Something similar? Heck yeah. At Sprinklr, we always talk about the fact that people will never forget how you make them feel. This is a plaque that's in every single one of our offices in US and internationally. And the reason for that is, if we don't show our customers that we truly care about them, that we listen to them on a daily basis, that we try to do our best to solve their problems, if we don't become more human in our interactions with them, they will walk across the street and buy from our competitor. Every year, just in US, there's 35,000 new products launching. Anybody in the world can copy your product. Anybody. What you compete on as a business is service. Providing the best possible, great experiences to your customers on consistent basis, that's what's gonna keep you ahead in business. So I believe that our biggest mantra, our biggest goal as marketers is not to create short-term campaign, hopefully it's explode for a month or 2, and then start working on a new one. Forget creating marketing campaigns. Let's do something cooler. Let's inspire the movements. Let's build tribes. So those people every single day advocate for our brand, come back and bring their friends over. That is the ultimate win for every single marketer, advertiser, business owner in the world. So let's make magic happen. Thank you.